Hey, good humans, welcome to another episode of Spectrum. This is Michael.
How dare you assume my sex? How dare you? How do you know I'm a human?
Hello. I'm Ian,
Hello.
and stick around at the end. We're going to talk a little bit with you guys. Believing.
Brother, I got one question for you.
Why are you gay?
I pray 5 times a day. 3, 2, 1.
I wish I was there with you guys. Like it's honestly, it just gets really hard. Like it's just 5 times a day, and it's like spread throughout the day. We all live like young professional lives, and it gets kind of in the way. And
Yeah, I mean, like, do you know what else is hard? The hellfire, bro. The hellfire's hard. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. Verily, the salah has been prescribed upon the believers at set times. How dare you? Phew. How dare you say it's hard when this is all your Lord has asked from you? Bas, he just wants you to pray 5 times a day, and it's not even for him. It's for you. It's for you. It's your path to Jannah. It's the key to paradise. But it's hard. But mashallah, you manage to get up at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. on time every day so that you can go and serve your slave master. Yes, sir. Yes, master. Yes, master. So you can make your little wage. That's not hard, is it? Slaving away at 9 hours, 10 hours a day on a job you hate. But praying 5 times a day, 5 minutes each way, 25 minutes in total, which is actually very refreshing, I'll have you know, is hard. MashaAllah. Well, you know what else is hard? Hellfire is hard.
If I could quantify it, I'm averaging about 3 out of 5 prayers. I think I will find myself in prayer more when I'm in desperation. It's not something that's subjective. I know we.
Hey. Remember your Lord in times of ease, and he will remember you in times of hardship. Not just when it's desperate. Everyone says, oh, God, help me in times of hardship. Even the atheists are like, oh, God, save us. Everyone seems to revert back to their fitrah, their understanding of there is a Lord. Everyone can do that. That's easy, light work. But what about when things are going well for you? Who do you remember then?
We are all praying as a requirement.
I just want to say it takes a lot of guts to be honest and say that. I honestly believe that if you feel it in your heart that you have a strong relationship with God, God will have mercy on you with whatever you're dealing with. So
being on this line doesn't mean it's like a piece of cake
Exactly.
to do the 5 daily prayers. It is a struggle. It's a challenge. I was working in a corporate environment where I could not comfortably find a space, so I'd have to go pray in the car or in the parking lot. So it is a
First of all, shout out to my American brothers and sisters, yeah? I do find at least the American brothers and sisters who make it onto the internet super moist. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm pretty sure that these individuals are cherry picked out on purpose because they make for good TV. And I'm sure it doesn't apply to the majority of my American brothers and sisters. But the ones that show up on YouTube and on the TV anyway, they seem to have really drunk the Kool-Aid. There's something in the water. And you know what? Let's hang on that statement. There's something in the water. There is something in the water. I'm listening to a book right now on Audible. It's called Estrogeneration. Okay? Shout out to Rich Cooper for recommending this book, by the way. Let me just put it up right now. Estrogeneration. This book right here. Fascinating book. And amongst many things, he talks about how the rise of estrogenic products in our food, in our plastics, in our water is on the rise, particularly in countries such as America, and particularly in the sunshine states like Florida and so on, where birth control use is very high, and also other countries like China, and to be more specific in China, cities like Beijing. Birth control. Why birth control? Cities like this, they consume birth control at a very high rate. Okay, they're extremely sexually active, the women I'm talking about, yeah? Specifically the women. Very sexually active, very promiscuous, but they don't want to fall pregnant, obviously. They want to hoe around. So they have these birth control stuff, tablets or whatever it is. They pee it out. And then there is a process by which this water, the water that they then drink through the faucet, as you Americans would say, or through the tap, it's a process whereby the water is defined as reclaimed water. Reclaimed water is water that has been pissed out, that then comes back around, cleaned, and you drink. And that process repeats itself over and over and over and over because there's not enough fresh water to feed everyone. The problem is the birth control that was in the urine, it's not possible to completely eradicate it in this process of reclaiming, which is a beautiful spin on basically saying shitty water. Excuse my French, all right? But it's a spin on saying something along those lines. Reclaimed water is dirty water, and the birth control is still in the water, and now men are drinking this as well as women, and it's making them more effeminate amongst many other things, including the consumption of soy, including the consumption of things like red number 40 in food, including the use of certain types of plastics, and all of this. You listen to this book, you're gonna feel like, yo, I can't eat nothing, bruv. It's in the meat, it's in the fish, it's in the plastics, it's in the food, it's inescapable. And to a large degree it is. To a large degree it is. And I just feel like a lot of the Muslims they bring out here on YouTube, and bruv, why are they so effeminate, man?
Why are you gay?
It's a bit weird, bruv. It's a bit weird.
You are gay.
Hijab should be mandatory. 3, 2, 1.
I have strong feelings.
No kidding. There's one thing that you're going to notice about our African American sister here, and that is she either strongly disagrees or strongly agrees. This indicates to me she's an extremely argumentative woman. How can you strongly agree or strongly disagree with everything? Is there no room for any thoughts, contemplation? Maybe there's another opinion or a perspective. Imagine getting into an argument with this woman. Let's continue.
I just feel like it's a woman's right to cover if she wants to. And to tell a woman what to do with her body is totally against our Islamic principles. So
this is now the alphabet Kool-Aid that so many of our Muslims in the West have drunk. The religion has made it very clear. Hijab is mandatory in Islam. It's not up for debate. And this business of, oh, you can't tell a woman what to do. No, you can tell a woman what to do, as you can tell a man what to do. I mentioned in one of my previous videos, the one I was addressing to Tate, that everyone needs fettering. Everyone needs to be handcuffed to a degree. Everyone needs controlling. And that control I am referring to is divine control. No, you can, should, must tell a woman what to do. You can, should, must tell a man what to do. Context specific, of course, but I am referring in this instance to hijab. It's not up for debate, my dear. Yes, it is mandatory. And you have to be careful as well, because if you start denying or at least not wholly accepting that there are certain elements of the religion that are mandatorily imposed upon the individual, this can take you outside the fold of Islam. Be careful.
For a lot of people, the process is build my courage, my bravery, and my confidence, and then wear the scarf. For me, it was kind of reverse. I started with the scarf because I knew that I was not going to build that bravery unless I started wearing it. Because when you put it on, you start acting different. You start acting nicer, you're kinder, because now you're representing your religion.
Shout out to the sister. She has struck something very profound there. A lot of people say, when I start practicing the religion more, then I will start to pray, or then I will start to cover. In the case of women, you've got it the wrong way around. Start to cover, start to pray, then you will start fixing the rest of your life. Get the head right, the body follows. Something interesting about the hijab is that, the hijab in particular, the headscarf that is that it acts as a barrier to men, number one. Men have automatically, whether they're Muslim or not, it's irrelevant. They tend to treat women with hijab with a greater degree of respect than those who don't. There's an element of she's more untouchable. She's less approachable. She's harder to... It's more difficult for a man to get himself to approach a woman who's wearing hijab with promiscuous intent, that is, than a woman who doesn't. It's a barrier automatically. And then it becomes like, okay, men are taking me more seriously. They're giving me a greater level of respect. Well, you know what? I appreciate that. I'm going to start acting in a more respectful way. And you start conducting yourself in that way. Put the hijab on and you'll see how things fall into place. Start praying and you will see how things fall into place.
Your faith.
You make me think really deep about that because I've been struggling. I wore it when I was about 15. I tried it out. But it's been a struggle because internally I want to be a better Muslimah, that I'm going to represent to society before my outer side represents Islam.
This is all a trick from Shaitan. This is all procrastination. He wants you to, it sounds good, it sounds logical. No. Put it on and then you will automatically start behaving in that way because you will be conscious of the fact that you are a representative of Islam. Put it on and you will see how you will behave. That's a trick from Shaitan. He wants you to delay.
Women are equal to men. 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to somewhat change mine.
This is a trick question on behalf of these the individuals who are running this. This is definitely a trick question intended to create controversy, right? What does equal mean? Men and women are equal, are we? Okay. So why don't men and women compete against each other in sport? Why don't we put a 155-pound woman against Khabib Nurmagomedov in the cage? Why don't we put a 200-pound woman against Mike Tyson? Why don't we have women's football teams play men's football teams if we're truly equal? We're equal, right? Well, why do we have gender-specific sports? Why? Is that not a clear acknowledgement that we are not equal? Because if we were equal, why would we have this segregation in the first place? Now, from a religious perspective, are we equal in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Of course. There is no difference in that regard. But there are differences between us men and women that can't be hedged against or argued against. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. And the man is not like the woman.
I had to think about it. So the reason I still don't agree and not strongly agree is that my understanding of human beings is that that women and men in general have different roles. You know, men cannot bear children, women do. In Islam, there's no discriminatory thing. There's nothing that a man can do that a woman cannot. And I don't have to prove.
That's not true. I'm sorry, Habibti. Yes, that's not true. All right. A man can deadlift 1,100 pounds, I think is the world record now. I ain't seen no woman get anywhere close to that. A man can run 100 meters in 9.58, is it the world record? Seconds. Women, they have even broken the 10-second barrier. No. Everything a man can do, women can't do. Just as things that women can do, there are certain things women can do that men cannot. The obvious is childbearing. As an example, women have a greater tolerance and patience for raising and rearing children. I cannot stand the crying of my children. I cannot stand. It makes my blood boil. I need to get away from it. I need to be out. I can't deal with it. Half an hour to an hour with my kids a day, alhamdulillah, is more than enough. Any more than that, I start to go insane. But my wife has a much greater tolerance for it. Does she get worn out and fed up herself? Yes, but her endurance is greater. She's built better for it. We are not equal in that regard.
You can be Muslim and part of the LGBT community.
Oof! Let's see what these lot say. I guarantee you the African American sister is going to say strongly agree. I guarantee it.
3, 2, 1.
Bruv, she went sprinting. Allah al-Mustan. Brother, I've got one question for you.
Why are you gay?
It's such a broad question that I'm going to stand here just to be on the safe side.
Shout out to the sister in purple. Shout out to the sister in purple. I can see, because look.
It's a broad question that I'm going to stand here.
I can see she wants to go all the way to strongly disagree, but she feels like she's going to be ostracized from the group. But shout out to her for standing there anyway.
Just to be on the safe side.
I'm a contradictory human being. I pray with one hand and commit sin with the other. So I'm not in a position to be able to tell somebody that they're excluded from a whole faith if perhaps their faith in God is stronger than mine.
Look, nobody is saying that the act of homosexuality takes you outside of the fold of Islam. It will only take you outside of the fold of Islam if you reject the verses in the Quran that clearly condemn it. If you reject those verses, then this is an act of kufr. This is an act that takes you outside of the fold, okay? But the act in and of itself, as much of a heinous act as it is, it does not take you outside the fold of Islam.
Okay, so you can be anything and be a Muslim, but I guess the reason I'm standing here is because Islam is a law about the progression of the human race and about what is natural and what is not. Islam doesn't necessarily support like the lifestyle of the LGBT community. However, they do support them as human beings, and that is something.
No, we don't. Or one question for you.
Why are you gay?
Like it's something that I've struggled with because they have my 100% love and support. I take a bullet for anybody. I don't care what their sexual orientation is. My best friend, he's gay, and we've had these conversations.
What the hell? Why is your best friend part of the alphabet lot? Number one. And number two, why is he? One question for you.
Why are you gay?
Before, and he's told me that, you know what, Husna, I love you for you. I love you for everything that we've been through together. I don't care what it is that you stand for, and that's,
Stop the cap.
Are you sick in the mind? Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
It's really comforting to know that you don't have to support a lifestyle to support a human being, to love a human being, and to love people unconditionally.
I love what you said. Yeah, and that's why I'm here, because
You know this business of unconditional love. Judge nobody, love everybody, etc. Eat, pray, love. There is no such thing as unconditional love, except maybe between a child and a parent and its child. Everything is conditional, even between husband and wife, even between you and your gay best friend Husna.
We bring in the studio this morning one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr? Sure. Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good
having
morning.
me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
If your gay best friend started violating your fundamental beliefs or whatever, you would not continue to love him unconditionally. You'd cut your ties. People break up all the time, best friends or otherwise. Husbands break up with wives. Wives break up with husbands. Best friends go their separate ways after a period of time. There is no such thing as unconditional love, except maybe between parent and child. And I say maybe, okay? Because if your child has truly, clearly transgressed, you need to turn your back on that child. Maybe you cannot help but love the child still. Okay, fine. It's blood at the end of the day. But there's lines, conditions. Love is conditional.
prompt was, can you be LGBTQ and Muslim? And yes, you can be anything and Muslim. If we're going to get into the logistics.
Can I be Christian and Muslim? Can I be Jew and Muslim? That's like saying I can be Chinese and African and English and Swedish and everything else at the same time. And you know what? Furthermore, I'm a Badger. I identify as a Badger. Do not refer to me as Mahdi anymore. Refer to me as Badger.
Of lifestyle practices in the core of scripture. Yes, there are different lifestyles or things that are asked for in scripture, but there's nothing that says they are not welcome in the faith. They are not welcome in our houses of worship. They cannot pray. They cannot stand beside us. They don't fast. They are people.
Look, I ain't going to go too deep into this because otherwise this video is going to get... You understand. You already know. Okay? If you are suffering with this, then you are not ousted from the religion. You are only ousted from the religion if you make claims that the religion has facilitated this, that it encourages this, or that it accepts it. It does not accept it. You are not accepted.
Get your face ready. Get your cheeks ready. I'm going to slap you again today.
It does not accept it. Okay? But if you acknowledge that it doesn't accept it and it's something that you are struggling with, that's a different story and this can be helped. And you know what? Like I said, listen, you need to read that book, Estrogeneration. Because I think a lot of these guys just got too much estrogen in the bloodstream. There's too much estrogen in the bloodstream from the foods they consume and all the rest of it.
It's very hard, I would say, to be a Muslim and, part of the community.
I agree with you. Beautiful statement.
I am American. 3, 2, 1.
I swear I'm not trying to make this controversial, but I somewhat disagree because
Nationalism is a fraud. Flags is a fraud. Nationalism is a fraudulent idea that has been gestated so that those in positions of power can use you pawns to means that further their initiatives. For Queen and country is the famous British saying. Get the French toast out of here, bruv.
Go wash your ass.
Queen and country, my foot. Just remember, nationalism is a fraud, an excuse to get you to potentially, if the need arises, put your life on the line to die for a flag that doesn't actually mean anything. Borders that have just been drawn up in the past couple of 100 years. Nationalism wasn't a thing before then. It's a relatively new concept. Relatively new concept. Before that, we had fiefdoms. Just remember, a flag, your country, is an idea that has been invented to get you to further the initiatives of those who are in positions of power in that particular country. And the ultimate initiative or the ultimate requirement that said country requests from you is to put your life on the line. Is to sacrifice your life for king and country, for queen and country. Get the French toast out of here. Man ain't dying for no king and country, bruv. All right, enough of that funky nonsense. If you enjoyed the video, do me a solid. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Over 50% of you who watch my content regularly have not subscribed to the channel. Help your boy out. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It helps to push it out to other people who could also benefit from it. And if you want to watch another video, it's a reaction that I did to Daniel Haqiqatu straightening out a feminist sister. You can watch it right here.